you people who are listening to this, I gotta move the mic a little bit closer. You're gonna start thinking that I have multiple personality syndrome, or I am being, possessed by two different people because it seems like every other day I'm either happy or sad with the Celtics. Last night, I was glowing. They beat the Nuggets. Good team. Wow, looks like the Celtics are back after losing to the terrible Pistons and terrible Wizards. No, fool's gold. The Celtics lose to the Hawks tonight, another terrible NBA team, and pretty much the entire way we're trailing. I mean, they didn't look good for virtually the entire game. The Hawks did whatever they wanted on offense. The Celtics had absolutely no defensive game plan for this. It's like they'd never seen the Hawks before or heard of them, thought they were maybe a team coming over from Europe, that there was like an exhibition game, because that's the effort the Celtics put into this one. It's just like you can't kid yourself into thinking this is a decent Celtics team anymore. If you're making excuses still for the Celtics at this point, you're a sycophant, plain and simple. You're on the team's payroll. You are in the team's pocket. No one can reasonably look at what the team's been doing and putting on the court for the past 2 months since the season began. Since the season began in December, you can't look at what the Celtics have been doing on the court and say anything other than this team is a disappointment. This team does not play hard. This coach does not understand the roster. The roster is not very good, and that it's not a team that has any chance of going anywhere. Again, barring a big trade, I don't know if that's going to happen or what. This is what the team is going to look like. It's not. I don't see any trade really altering the landscape of this team. They have very little to no depth. The pieces that they have don't fit together. The rotation, as I've been talking about, makes no sense. Let's get into this game because, I mean, you've heard me rant and rave about the team. What else is there to say? They're just not a good team. They lose to the dregs of the NBA. That is the mark of a bad team. Celtics go back down to 500 now. They're 14-14. They lost to a now 12-16 Atlanta Hawks team. So the final score, 114-122. It wasn't that close. The Hawks were trying to piss the game away down the stretch. It wasn't that close. The Celtics on their end had a really great game from Jason Tatum, and that was about it in terms of really strong performances. Tatum finished with 35 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. Excellent, getting 11 free throws for Tatum. 3 of 9 from 3, 11 of 22 from the floor. Really, you can't ask too much more of Jason Tatum. That was a really good game from Tatum. Brown chipped in with 22 points and 7 assists and 3 rebounds, but wasn't that great from the floor tonight. Just 2 of 7 from 3, 6 of 20 from the floor in total, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. So you want and expect Brown to shoot a little bit better. The difference I see between Brown and Tatum is that when Brown has a bad game, he's just having an off shooting night. When Tatum has a bad game, it doesn't look like he's trying that hard. And maybe COVID's an issue with it, but I think this has been a hallmark of Tatum since before he had COVID. So glad to see Tatum get going. Brown, I'm not concerned about at all. Just an off shooting night for him. Other Celtics who contributed, I like what Peyton Pritchard did off the bench tonight. I feel like I'm going to say that virtually every game he comes off the bench until he's a starting point guard. 11 points, some solid defense spots, get 5 personal fouls, which isn't great. And 1 of 5 from the floor, 5 of 11 from the field. You know, shooting's not so much of a problem when you're not shooting, when you don't shoot that well from 3, but you still come up with 11 points off the bench. It's you deal with that. That's fine. Javonte Green started this game. They didn't play a point guard why? Because Kemba Walker doesn't play back-to-backs. Marcus Smart is out. Jeff Teague is virtually unplayable. Yet Brad Stevens decided to play him in the second half, and that resulted in a grand total of 9 minutes, 0 of 2 from the floor, 0 of 1 from 3, 2 rebounds, and 3 turnovers, and 3 personal fouls. So nothing. Why did he play Jeff Teague? I don't know. Brad and Jeff Teague go way back. He's talked about when he recruited him in college. They seem like they're friends. It seems like every time he gives Jeff Teague minutes, it seems like he's doing Jeff Teague like a solid. Like, hey, buddy, here you go. Here's some minutes. Like, we're close. We're good friends. Take some minutes. It's not helping the team. Jeff Teague, it might be happy to be getting in, but certainly not helping the team. I thought Rob Williams continued to look impressive off the bench. The numbers don't pop out at you, just 8 points, but 4 or 5 from the floor, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, a couple of highlight dunks. I tweeted this out. This continues to make no sense to me. Rob Williams played 19 minutes tonight. Grant Williams, who was a DNP coach's decision in the Celtics win over the Nuggets last night, he plays 22 minutes tonight. Why should Grant Williams ever play more minutes than Rob Williams? That's not just tonight. This is something that's been going on all season long. Grant Williams has one skill that he's better at than Rob Williams, and that's three-point shooting. He's not a better rebounder. He's not a better defender. He's not a better shot blocker. He's not a better athlete. He is not faster. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. It's baffling to me. It goes to the rotations, making no sense how someone can go from a DNP coach's decision to playing 22 minutes ahead of a guy who everybody agrees is playing well. Even Mike Gorman tonight was saying, I really wish they gave Rob Williams more minutes. It makes no sense to me. I think Brad Stevens has like a personal thing against Rob Williams. I swear. At this point, all I have is conspiracy theories. That's how frustrating it's gotten for the Celtics, is that I just have to come up with conspiracy theories because that's the only thing that explains some of this stuff. Who else? Who else is even? It's, I'm done even mentioning players on the team. I mean, they gave up 122 points. The defense was horrible. Trae Young did whatever he wanted, basically unimpeded. I mean, he made some difficult shots, as he always does, but he made too many easy shots. It's just, this team is a mess. Absolute mess. The win was absolutely fool's gold yesterday. The Celtics are the team that loses to the Hawks, the Pistons, the Wizards. That's what they are, and they'll get an occasional win. They're a 500 basketball team. Nothing should alter your perception of the Celtics from being a 500 basketball team, except for maybe when Smart comes back, then they will be a slightly above 500 basketball team, but not good enough to compete for a championship. And that should be the expectation. You've been in the Eastern Conference Finals 3 of the past 4 years. When are you going to get to the championship round? When are you going to hoist another Larry O'Brien trophy? That's the only thing that matters in Boston. Danny Ainge has been derelict in his duty of building a roster capable of doing that. Brad Stevens has been derelict of his duty as a coach in making cohesive units and lineups to put them in the best position to win games. And the players haven't played hard every game. I mean, there are games where they put in supreme effort and games where they put in no effort. As I said, when I ranted and raved after the Wizards loss, this is a top to bottom problem, and the Celtics have so much work to do to fix it. This is not going away anytime soon. Unless there are some major changes. And, I just keep thinking that it's going to happen this offseason. There's going to be major changes, or else the owners are just completely blind to what's going on here. So Celtics are back at it again against these same Hawks on Friday. I think they'll probably win that one because, that's what a 500 team does. Lose, win, lose, win. I don't think you'll see any consistent streaks from this team. It's maddening as a fan. It's so disappointing, but that's where we are right now. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember to thumbs up and remember to subscribe. Remember to tell people to subscribe. Remember to wash your hands and wear a mask. That's also good things to remember. And I appreciate all of you for indulging me as I rant and rave about the Celtics every night. So I'm okay. I'm gonna be fine. Just because one night I'm really happy and they win, and the next night I'm pissed off because they lose, doesn't mean anything's wrong with me. It just means that I let the Celtics affect my mood too much. That's all. Like a normal person. All right, everybody, I will be back at it on Friday talking about the Celtics-Hawks round 2, and see you then. See ya.